Hey everybody, Lincoln Williams here. So excited to be back with you here on the Simple Podcast. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Make sure that you are following us on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Today is a fun topic, especially for my personality. This might not be fun for the non-confrontational people. I love confrontation. No, but I'm just okay with it. I'm comfortable with it. And today we want to dive in to this lesson, and I think it's going to be beneficial to every walk of life, every person from every walk of life. So, two things you need, as always: ears to hear and heart to receive. Okay, let's dive in. All right. So we are going to be looking at Matthew 18, starting with the 15th verse. Matthew 18, let's just scroll to it like we in church. No, I'm joking. Matthew 18, starting with the 15th verse. All right. I'm going to be reading, I believe this is NIV. No, NLT. I'm going to be reading the NLT version. So let's dive in. If another believer sins against you, go privately and point out the offense. If the other person listens and confesses it, you have won that person back. But if you are unsuccessful, take one or two others with you and go back again, so that everything you say may be confirmed by two or three witnesses. If the person still refuses to listen, and we all know that person, take your case to the church. Then if he or she won't accept the church's decision, treat that person as a pagan or a corrupt tax collector. Ouch. Today, we're going to talk about accountability. Accountability. I want to give us a different outlook on accountability. Now, people are going to be like, oh, it's so hard to hold volunteers accountable. If you're a church leader, you're like, oh, it's so hard to hold volunteers accountable. No, it's not. Oh, it's so hard to hold my kids accountable. No, it ain't. Oh, it's so hard to hold my wife or my husband accountable. No, it's not. This is more accountability that from the lens of it's important to hold people accountable. Let me tell you why. Write this down. Accountability is a tool of love. Accountability is a tool of love. If I love you, if I really love you, if I'm really down for you, I'm going to hold you accountable. Like, hey, G, you know that thing you did? That ain't it, my boy. Hey, girl, I get you trying to branch out, but like, that ain't it. Accountability is something that we fear to do with people because we fear that they'll leave us. We don't want to hold people accountable because we fear that they'll leave. Well, they said something, but like, that's just the way they are. No, it's not. It's just a culture that you've allowed between you and them. You allow them to talk to you crazy. Now you don't want to address it. You don't want to hold them accountable. You've allowed them to treat you crazy. Now you're trying to address it, and they're confused. Like, well, you let me do it the other time. And honestly, I kind of get it from their side. Like, how come now it's an issue? You didn't have an issue with it the first month, the second month, the first year. You never brought it up. Now you just let it get to a head, and now y'all both arguing. It's because you've allowed them to act that way, and you refused to hold them accountable. But if you love them, then you will know that accountability is a tool of love. Two big things I want to break down today. Two big things about confrontation and holding people accountable. Number one, write this down. Address the person directly. Stop being passive aggressive. Please. Address the person directly. Now, if you're a corporation, if you have a track of communication, lines of communication, then definitely send it to the person that your direct report or whoever is your direct reports to you. Send it to them, tell them like, hey, I see something going on. Like, why wasn't they here? Address that. So to give them authority to address it, give them authority to be accountable. But if it's between you and somebody else, guess what? Address them personally and directly. Look what the word of God says in Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. If another believer sins against you, go privately and point out the offense. It did not say, go tell so-and-so that so-and-so was talking crazy about you. You won't believe what old boy said about you. And then it just turns into, it literally turns into gossip. Now it's just like, okay, well, I know this person don't like me, but I'm going to pretend that I don't know that they know that they know that I know that they talking about me. See how confusing that was? That was crazy. Come on. Hold them accountable, but go directly to them. Don't be acting all big and bad in public and be like, oh, I heard somebody was talking crazy on my name. No, stop it. Address them privately. Be like, hey, what's going on? You good, man? I heard, through the grapevine that you may disagree with some of our methods or you disagree with some of the changes. Why do you feel that way? Tell me what you disagree with and tell me why you disagree with it. I promise you a good portion of the people can't even identify why they actually are upset with you or why you change something. Usually it's because they just don't like it. I just don't like it. My feeling. Well, I'm not here to manage your feelings. I'm here to push what we're doing forward. Now, if it's your marriage and you're holding somebody accountable, like, hey, that's different. I'm talking about from the point of like friends and people that you work with or people that you lead. You got to hold people accountable. If so-and-so is late, pull so-and-so to the side, be like, hey, this is your fourth time being late. What's going on? You straight? I'm not talking about passively aggressively saying like, hey, y'all, just a reminder. No. If it happens and you see like a 90% of the group is late, be like, hey, just a reminder, everybody. Let's get this together. Y'all know I give you a prime example. Hey, y'all, let's make sure we be on time. Report time is between 8 and 8:15. Meaning you got 15 minutes to get here, get yourself together, do a quick warm up, and let's ride. Because at 8:15, we are hitting the stage and we are practicing. That's our policy here. So what happens? People get here. Sometimes get here at 8. Sometimes get here at 8:10. But we start at 8:15. And usually everybody's here. Usually if it's somebody who has a kid, they may be a little late. That makes sense, y'all. Kids, when you have to get a kid ready that early in the morning, somebody's going to be late. But they're prepared. That's the other thing. Okay, you may be late, and I may be able to let you, say if somebody works, we have rehearsals on a Thursday night. Say if somebody can't make rehearsal. Okay, you better know that song, though, come Sunday. I don't want to be having to look at you and be like, what's going on? What? Something don't sound right. Somebody's off. Do we know the music? Yes, I'm not. Now what I'm saying may be a total different culture from what what you deal with or what you lead. But it's still holding people accountable. You have to get to the point as a leader, as a friend, where you start saying, I have to be careful what I'm allowing. I talked about this in another podcast. You have to be careful what you're allowing. Culture is what you create and what you allow. If I'm allowing people to be late, if I'm allowing people to talk to me any type of way, if I'm allowing people to gossip, then I cannot be salty about the culture that I have allowed. You can just erupt like, oh my gosh, I'm sick of this. Well, guess what? You've allowed it for so long because what you allow are what you are aware of. You cannot allow something that you're not aware of, but you can allow something that you are aware of. When you are aware of it, you are responsible for it. But the more you allow it, and you know you're aware of what's going on, that's on you. Now you have to be held accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable. I am holding myself accountable because I've allowed some things. That's maturity. That is mature leadership and mature growth. Once you take responsibility for your side, you can now tell the other person to take responsibility for their side. It's the same in any conversation. Okay, I was wrong. I shouldn't have yelled at you, but I can't have you outbursting out in front of people and trying to like embarrass me. I apologize for doing it to you, but we cannot continue this culture between us and on this team, and we will not have it. And if they cannot adhere by that, goodbye. I will say that again. If the people in your life cannot abide by the culture, the positive, healthy culture that you put in place between you and them, goodbye. I will not be held hostage to toxic people because they don't have boundaries. I will not be held hostage by toxic people because they don't understand boundaries. I will not. I will not have toxic people on my team who are creating dissension. They're not going privately to point out their offense. They're going publicly to point out their offense. Well, Pastor Lincoln did this and so did that and Roger said this. You already out of order. Read the book. If another believer sins against you, go privately and point out the offense. If the other person listens and confesses it, you have won that person back. Look at the word of God. It is so good. If the other person listens and confesses it, I hear you. I admit I was wrong too. Guess what? You have won them. You have won their respect. Okay? It's so important. It's so important that we hold people accountable. The people that are actually healthy will respect that you held them accountable. They won't respect you when you don't hold them accountable. Proven fact. Proven fact. Okay. What else the scripture says? But if you are unsuccessful, take one or two others with you and go back again. So this is after it's a continued problem. Like, okay, now I need someone to be in the room with me when I reprimand you or hold you accountable with something because you went off and told everybody something else outside of the meeting that you and I had. Now I'm going to get a witness in here. Yeah, now I'm going to get a witness in here so they can see what actually really happened. So I don't have to fool with you. Now, at this point, for me personally, you probably not going to be on my team. If I have to get to the point where I have to bring another person into it for them to hear so you don't go back out and twist my words, then you don't need to be on my team. But the Bible tells us, try. So, but if you are successful, take one or two others with you and go back again so that everything you say may be confirmed by 2 or 3 witnesses. This part, if the person still refuses to listen, take your case to the church. Yeah, bless the Lord. And then if he or she won't accept the church's decision, this made me laugh. Treat that person as a pagan or a corrupt tax collector. Get him out of here. Now, for me, that part will probably come after if you don't adhere to what is being asked of you after I bring in a witness to hear what we're saying. Just get out. So that's address the person directly. Number 2 is the biggest thing. Move on. Move on. If you go to the person directly and y'all hash it out, you hold them accountable, you accept responsibility for your half, what you said, and they accept responsibility on their side. Or if you go to them, hold them accountable, and they respect your decision. Do not lord it over their head. They made a mistake. They accepted your reprimanding. They worked with you. They apologized. Stop holding it over their head. Well, I knew you would do it again. Blah blah. Well, blah blah. No, don't hold it over their head. Move on. It's not there for you to keep score. When you're holding people accountable, it's because you want them to be better, not because you want them to listen to you and look at you as just this God or something. No, it's like, I love you, and accountability is a tool of love. Therefore, I'm going to tell you when you are acting up, man. But don't be like in a later argument. Yeah, remember that? No, so you gonna do this to me after that one time, and when I told you shouldn't be treating on you. What? No, that's not what it's for. It's not what it's for. Move on. Now that's one way to move on. Don't lord over. Don't hang it over people's head. Here's the other way to move on. Once you hold people accountable, and they cannot just adhere to the culture between you and them, and they don't want to be better, and they don't want to improve, guess what? Move on. Hey, appreciate you. This team probably is not for you. Hey, I respect your decision. We're gonna go ahead and remove you from the team, and you can operate how you see fit. You can join another team. Hey, we're gonna let you go. Hey, that I get it. I respect it so much so that we're gonna let you go ahead and do your own thing, and away off our team. You got to move on. One of the craziest, most beautiful things that I've heard from my lead pastor, Pastor Dave Allman, is he talks about how we can't be afraid for people to leave, especially when we hold them accountable for something simple, for something important with our values. If they're going against our values, we can't be mad or like, oh, I just don't want them to leave. No. If we love them, we will hold them accountable for their actions. And once they're above accountability, then they don't need to be here. Especially if they're serving on any of our teams. They don't need to be here. If your friend can't be held accountable, they're above accountability, then let them go. They don't care about you anyway. Move on. So for my non-confrontational people, it's okay. But make sure when there's a confrontation, you don't go gossiping. Number one, you address the person directly. And number two, you move on. Let me pray for you. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you so much for just your wisdom that you give us in your word. Thank you so much for just so much rich knowledge that is written in this book, the Bible. Thank you, God, that you give us grace, that you give us the fruits of the Spirit, love. God, we want to love people so they can live a better story. But God, teach us that even in love, we have to hold people accountable because we love them. We don't want them to stray. We want them to continue to press toward the mark. We want them to succeed. We want them to grow. So God, give us the strength to hold people accountable in love, not out of our flesh or out of malice or out of petty thoughts. Let us be healthy leaders so that we can hold our people accountable and ourselves, our friends, everybody, God. So Lord, we love you. We appreciate you in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment below. Give me some things. If you got some topics that you want me to talk about, if there's something complicated that, how do I read the Bible? How to do this? I got some resources, and I would love to talk about those things on an episode. So shoot some thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure that you follow and listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Love y'all. See you next time.